Hey, boys, look what I got here.
Hey, where are the white women at?
What is going on, everybody? Author Stephen Walton here. Please remember to share that link. Hit the like if you could. This is an article from Wired, a site that we've pulled from before that usually has some pretty messed up reports or narratives, but we're going to give this article a try. We're going to see where this author takes this article. This is an article about John Boyega is right about Star Wars. The actor's criticism of how the franchise treated characters of color is obvious to those who watched the trilogy. He's just calling it out. Well, rightfully so. He was treated like garbage by Disney Lucasfilm. They treated him like a token. They did what far leftists do. They made a check mark. They had a checkbox. These people who are just so concerned with race and gender and sexual orientation and all these things, that's all you are to them. You're a checkbox, you know, and he should feel that way because his character arc, his character had a lot of promise in the beginning and was completely annihilated by the end. So let's go over this article and see what this author thinks. Remember the first time you saw Star Wars The Force Awakens or even the trailer for Star Wars The Force Awakens, do you recall thinking, I think that Finn guy, the stormtrooper who defected, he's going to be a big deal. Yeah, it's exactly what I thought. The Star Wars universe loves it when a hero comes from relative obscurity to do a brave thing, like, say, help a resistance pilot escape the First Order. Finn, it seemed, was destined for great things. I thought he was going to be a Jedi. I thought he was going to have a great story arc. I thought that they were going to have Episode 8 was going to be written by someone who was better than 7. I thought the Disney trilogy started off with people getting their feet wet, getting used to the universe. That's, you know, I gave them a pass at the time because I thought 8 and 9 were going to get progressively better and do things that we should have gotten in 7, like, you know, maybe a flashback of the original crew back together, but we know where that went. John Boyega, the actor who plays Finn, thought so too, but he doesn't anymore. He's waking up. He was used as a token. He's waking up, and I'm glad that he is going through that evolution of understanding. Where he's going to take it is questionable, but it's a shame that what he went through. In an interview published this week with British GQ, Boyega says that while Daisy Ridley's Rey and Adam Driver's Kylo Ren got full nuanced story arcs, characters like Finn and Rose Tico were sidelined by the finale of The Rise of Skywalker. They didn't have a plan for y'all. You were diversity hires. That's it. It's a shame. You get yourself involved in these projects and you're not necessarily going to like everything, he told the magazine. But what I would say to Disney is to not bring out a black character, market them to be much more important in the franchise than they are, and then have them pushed to the side. It's not good, and I'll say it straight up. You knew what to do with these other people, but when it came to Kelly Marie Tran, when it came to John Boyega, you knew F all. Yeah, man. Yeah. Diversity hires, brother. It's awful. It's racist. Disney Lucasfilm was very racist in the way that they treated you. His comments were unsurprisingly immediately picked up everywhere, as they should be. One of the many things that he got lost in the discourse around Star Wars trilogy by the time that it reached Rise was what happened to characters like Rose and Finn, whose storylines promised big endings and never delivered. I don't know about all that. Okay, Kelly Marie Tran, beautiful actress, right? Nothing against Kelly Marie Tran. She was brought in as a token by people who only cared that they had an Asian on screen. She was put in a potato sack, and she was given a terrible story arc that nobody liked. Like, nobody liked it. Well, okay, there's probably a percentage of people out there with bad taste that enjoyed it. Hey, I have bad taste sometimes, too. I like bad movies. It's what it is. But, I mean, really, the overall fandom did not like that character. Had nothing to do with her. Unfortunately, she was just a checkbox. He was a diversity hire. And Finn had great promise from episode 7, as I said. We thought he was going to be a Jedi. We thought he was going to have, run a hero's journey, which would have been great. But TLJ came along and was more concerned with making him a joke. He's the comic relief. You know what I mean? How racist and bumbling is that? God, Rian Johnson, Kathleen Kennedy, they're all terrible. There was plenty of discussion about diversity in Star Wars more broadly. Much of it resulted in a handful of toxic fans decrying inclusion, but far less about what happened to those characters once their stories unfolded on screen. What are you... this sounds like the false narrative, and there's a link here. So let's take a look at this link. Let's take a look at this link and see what it is. Star Wars The Last Jedi will bother some people, and good. Same writer. You don't like diversity in your Star Wars movies? Don't see The Last Jedi? Oh... Angela Watercutter. Yeah, all right. Yeah, she's woke. That's what it is. That's the thing. She's, I remember this article. Yeah. Yeah, all right. Yeah, honey, you might be the racist. You might need to check yourself. As Boyega noted, he's not talking about anything that wasn't already known. He's just saying it out loud. What they want you to say is, I enjoyed being a part of it. It was a great experience. Not on, I'll take that deal when it's a great experience. What's probably most egregious beyond the obvious is that while Boyega was the star of Star Wars films, he was the one often facing down trolls who were displeased with his presence in them. Receipts? Well, we'll see. All right. As recently as last month, they were in his Twitter mentions, upset with his role in the franchise. To have to defend one's place in a franchise that hasn't even given them proper treatment is the ultimate insult to injury. This author is running with that far left narrative that the legacy media, the access media has been running with. The fans are still toxic. It's the fans' fault. It's the fandom's fault. It's not the racist working at Disney Lucasfilm, right? It's not the people who are completely concerned with isolating people, segregating people into small little checkboxes that they can mark off for virtue. Has nothing to do with that. It's the fans' fault. Oh boy. All right. He says, I'm the only cast member who had their own unique experience of that franchise based on their race. He told GQ, it makes you angry with a process like that because you realize I got given this opportunity, but I'm in an industry that wasn't ready for me. Well, I mean, Disney Lucasfilm, man, the far leftists running that you were a checkbox. That's a shame you dealt with that. Had nothing to do with the fans. There's been black people in Star Wars before Lando Calrissian. Nobody else in the cast had people saying they were going to boycott the movie because they were in it. Nobody else had the uproar and death threats sent to their Instagram DMs and social media saying black this and black that. You shouldn't be a stormtrooper. Nobody else had that experience, but yet people are surprised I'm this way. That's my frustration. Where are the receipts of these things? The author, you could have found these receipts. And if John Boyega has put these receipts out, these messages out, these terrible things, I would like to read them. Hell, I'll even document them in my books. This is an interview. I'm sure, you can't just bring up receipts during an interview, but I think the author should have, been more responsible in presenting these things. Let's see if they were responsible here. Toxic Star Wars fans still find their way to my mentions. Lord, must I be blunt? I don't F with you no more. Lord waited so long to tell toxic fans to fack off. Man, speak your mind, bro. Do what you gotta do. Here we go. Here's Mark Dice. He says, it's a franchise that's toxic. Disney destroyed it. You kind of suck too, but it was mainly the plots. And John laughs at him. Well, the franchise is toxic. It's absolutely toxic. It's racist and terrible, and you are put in a position to be a check mark, to be used as a token, and it's awful. Disney did destroy it. You kind of suck too. Well, John Boyega has some beliefs that are in contradiction to Mark, so I can understand that difference of opinion. I wouldn't necessarily say he sucks, but it was mainly the plots, and I totally agree with that. Boyega's comments aren't the first time he's been vocal about racism. Earlier this year, following the death of George Floyd, he addressed a crowd at a protest in London, saying, Black lives have always mattered. Well, all lives matter, and black lives should have always mattered. All lives should have always mattered. We have always been important. All life is important. At the time, he wondered aloud if speaking out would harm his career. No. Nah, brother. Nah, you're right on. You're right on track with the far left. You're good. You're supporting riots and looting, brother. You're going to get job offers everywhere. They're going to love you. You're going to be tokenized. Disney Lucasfilm used you as a token, bro. As a token. It was not the fandom, not the general fandom anyway. This person who wrote this article obviously hates the fandom Menace because we are inclusive without saying we're inclusive. We do support everyone's right to have an opinion and everyone's right to enjoy what they want to enjoy, and everybody is allowed to engage in fandom. I mean, something that just should be. But unfortunately, those like the author of this article seem more worried, just like Kathleen Kennedy and the people that work at Disney Lucasfilm, more concerned with check marks, with check boxes, than actually presenting good material. What happened to Boyega was awful. Should have seen Jedi Master Finn, or at least Jedi Knight Finn, by episode 9 in the Disney sequel trilogy. The Disney trilogy, excuse me. Should have seen that. If you had people that understood Star Wars, writing Star Wars, then that might have happened. If you had people in there who respected the lore and the legacy of Star Wars, respected the fandom, the consumer, the customer, then we probably would have gotten that. But unfortunately, we did not get that. We had people working under Kathleen Kennedy had hired who are more concerned with diversity check marks, concentrating on race and gender and all that stuff, more concerned with social justice. They were more concerned with politicizing their work environment than they were presenting good material. I'll tell you this straight up. No matter where John and I may end up in our differences on social or political issues, I will not back away from that stance, that he was screwed. Him and Kelly, they were screwed. The entire fandom was screwed over. The entire fandom was screwed over from getting good Star Wars, from getting decent material that inspired hope. And instead we got division, segregation, we got preached to, we got yelled at, we got articles written by people like this person just shaming the customer. John, if you happen to listen to this, I'm sorry you went through this. I think you deserve better. I really thought you did a good job in episode 7, and I hope to see you in future works. I do not think you're going to have a problem finding a job, and I think you know that. You're saying all the right catchphrases. You're backing all the right racist hate groups. You're going to be fine. Hollywood eats that stuff up. But don't limit yourself to being another token. Understand that if you get hired under the banner of BLM, that's exactly what you're going to be. Just another token in another film. And I think that you are a much better actor. You have more charisma, more attitude than to allow yourself to be that. Good luck to you, John. My thanks to you guys watching this video. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, check out, there's a link in the description for the advertisement for the Fandom Menace Volume 2, Rise of the Rebellion, speaking out against far leftists, racists, sexists, terrible heterophobes, and all these people in woke Hollywood and woke Access Media that are more concerned with attacking the customer if they don't share their opinions, silencing them, engaging in cancel culture, and driving online hate mobs at people for not agreeing with their bigoted points of view. My love to y'all. I am author Stephen Walton, the Fandom Menace historian, your historian, born in the chats of the High Council with my brothers and sisters fighting for our modern mythologies. Wash your hands, wash your ass, be good to each other. Peace.